Hi, this is Greg Lutz, the city manager here in Lebanon, New Hampshire. Welcome to Lebanon in Depth. It's been a while, it seems like to me, that I've been here. Today, we're going to talk about our city manager's office, office that I really find rewarding to be a part of. And I have with me for my guest today is our Deputy City Manager, Paula Mayville. Welcome, Paula.
Thanks,
welcome. Paula's been here before, and this is her return, and as is our Deputy City Manager. So, Paula, could you share with the public a little bit about what's going on with you and your role in our City Manager's office?
Sure. Yeah, things have been really busy. The new role is just that, very new. The past couple of weeks, I've enjoyed my recent promotion as Deputy City Manager. Currently overseeing the Human Services Division and still maintaining functions within the City Manager's office. Have a temporary person working in our Human Services Division, plus what we have going on with staff in the City Manager's office. And summer is moving right along, heading into budget season, heading into CIP season, trying to get prepped everybody and up and ready for the fall, and have a son getting ready for school, getting over vacation times, transition.
It's really the time of the year for all of us. I'm sure many of you are in the same situation as Paula and myself. I'm also getting my son, my youngest son, he's going to graduate school. I'm getting ready for graduate school. He's going to go to get a master's in music composition. So someday you guys can out there can listen to the compositions of Zach Lewis. But I returned from vacation to see my daughter in Minnesota, and now, as Paula's saying, we're going to immerse ourselves into some very tough climbs. And of course, it always is this time of year, and it's just cyclical, and it happens that we're going to tackle the budget, and we're going to tackle the CIP, which the CIP stands for Capital Improvement Program. And that's all these capital infrastructure projects, roads, bridges, other important pieces, large pieces of equipment, things that are very significant in cost, the CSO projects. So we got our work cut out for us with our department team members. So we're plunging ahead, and we're going to be doing that. But today we've taken some initiatives during this year of 2013, and these initiatives are part of our outcomes the city, under leadership of the City Council, wants a sustainable community, and the way to get there from here is creating outcomes and working on outcomes. These are actually concrete things that happen in the ground here in Lebanon that serve you who are listening here, who are residents or citizens who come here and are part of our community. They're very important things. For us in our City Manager's office, we have some essential outcomes that we work on. And of course, we find ourselves, having to deal with whatever rolls our way, whether it's storm events or it's the special circumstances that arise out of situations. No matter, you just can't find city manager office work to be predictable, but we always try to focus like a compass, like the point on the compass pointing north, and that's toward our outcomes. And our outcomes is really city communication plan. We hope you all have observed some things in the community that show the city is working to improve its communication. Two-way street. You as citizens and residents and people that work and live here and own businesses here can communicate with us, and we can communicate with you. And that communication plan is really a top priority for us. Part of that we'll mention today, and we'll talk about the Citizen Academy. That's coming up. That's an aspect of our efforts to engage in dialogue and conversations. We have an economic vitality outcome where we're trying to reach the community. Economic vitality is very important. We are a very vital community. I mean, it's really, we're very blessed in the fact of having such fine businesses and enterprises and some nonprofit leaders in their fields. These corporate and business and nonprofit leaders are very much the central core of our city, and we in the public sector want to engage them in communicating. We started this summer the Economic Vitality Exchange meeting, where 7 representatives from the private sector meet with our council through our mayor, Georgia Tuttle, and our 2 council members, Councilor Corman and Councilor Bronner. And I help and support and help facilitate that meeting, as does Paul Boucher, the president of the chamber. So it's a very shared effort between the different sectors. And I also have been on the listening tours where I've been going out and listening to nonprofits, trying to see a nonprofit a week, listen to these folks who are great service providers, and also listen to a private business once a week. And so we're working on that. The storm event kind of threw us some boomerangs and caused us to be distracted because we have to serve. When the need calls, we have to move to serve. With the human services that we're talking about, that Paula's now in charge of, we're working and really just trying to focus on people who come into our offices and seek general assistance. That's our really focus. We want to treat them in fair, equitable, respectful, and valuing manners, and that's what we're doing under Paula's leadership and with our person that's in our office, Lynn. So this is really a neat thing, but we also have to be partners with all the nonprofits who serve the same persons, and we really enjoy working with so many of them, and they're just very extensive here, from our local mental health services to our listening services, listening community services, and to our Tri-County CAP program. We just have a lot of service providers in our community, and you just go on and on, whether it's WISE or Headrest or our nurses, the nurses program, the visiting nurses program. All of them are great partners in our community, and we want to be really respectful in communicating with them. So you can see that we're really engaged in the community, and then the last items are really the crunch time we're working on here. Is we got to be physically sound, and we have to do it in a very strong stewardship manner, and we have to make sure that infrastructure of our community, as we recently saw in the storm event, an infrastructure issue developed because of a microburst, which really destroyed a whole road and affected people at the bottom of the road on the hill it was, and as well as numerous other areas in the community. Infrastructure is a critical piece for this time ahead of us, because we do think the storm events are going to continue. That all being said, I think that the whole bottom line starts with the idea of communication. Because no matter how well we might be able to do a piece of infrastructure, or how well we advance ourselves in terms of a particular technology, or maybe we have some great ideas in our different sectors, but if we don't communicate among ourselves in some sort of circle of synergy of sharing ideas, sharing comments, concerns, complimenting each other, helping each other, and that is a really a 360, so we're all doing that together, and that we have this kind of welcoming style of inviting others to communicate with us. And Paula, could you tell us a little bit about one of our initiatives, which is it's called Ask Leb? And could you discuss that a little bit about what that program consists of?
Sure. Ask Leb NH is a platform that we created in-house through our IT division and our webmaster to bring the frequently asked questions to citizens and give them an opportunity to interact through that, trying to get answers to what their frequently asked questions are. It was derived in-house, like I said. We had one platform that was the community connection, and wasn't generating as much use as we wanted it to, and felt that part of it might have been the user friendliness of it, so to say. And when people want an answer to their question, they may not want to go on and log in and create an account and get an account number and get this kind of thing. And
that was pretty complicated system.
Yeah.
I know when I arrived here, it was in place, and when we worked together to kind of redo and look at the office, we recognized that was a very complicated piece. It was supposed to create a lot of data information, but it seemed to me it created a lot of you know, a lot of things that weren't so simple in terms of expressing communication between citizens and the city and the city and the citizens.
Right, and it was just one more step in the process for staff, so it was really underutilized, and we wanted to make it easier for everybody in the way we were going to improve the communication. So creating this platform is just that. If you have a question, you can go on, find your topic, look through the data that's there, see your question, pop up the answer, and you're done. And if you don't happen to find the answer to your question and you don't need an immediate response, there is an opportunity to fill out a form, and the city will respond within 72 hours. If warranted, we might even create a new frequently asked question based on your question.
So, I mean, it's a great way to participate in this. And, you know, and if you go to the website and look at our website and see what the section on Ask Leb New Hampshire, so it's LEBNH, the topics you could explore, and Paula and I have looked at them. These were created with the great help of Paula and our webmaster, and the things that have come up from our departments and looking at frequencies and looking at the biggest neat thing was surveys, and I want you to comment a little bit about the surveys that we did of citizens as to what topics they were interested in. But to give people an example, they're alphabetized, so the topics were, you know, like airport, aircraft, assessments, tax bills, auto, vehicle registration, birth, death, marriage records. There's cemeteries. There's a lot, you know, the city manages the cemeteries, which is not the case in other places, but it's very unusual. But for me, coming from other states, but for Lebanon and New Hampshire, the city manages the cemeteries. The city manager and our communication efforts, that's us. Code, zoning, building permits, election or voting information, how to vote, you know, where you're going to vote, and really neat things about, you know, very easily to get to these topics. Employment, jobs, maybe you're looking for a job, maybe there's an opportunity. Engineering, so issues about the engineering, which is just kind of everywhere sometimes in a city like this where so much is going on. Fire and EMS, the great guys who are out there doing the wellness checks going up Slayton Hill Road. You can access these kinds of topics they have and see if what you're thinking about is in those topics. And GIS maps. We've got a really good GIS map system, and it's got a lot of information and data layered over parcel maps. Our library, of course, our libraries are just hopping this summer with some real great initiatives, and there are some issues you might have about the library. It could be a lot of things. It could be hours. It could be, you know, programs you're interested in at the library. Planning, you know, all the planning that's going on, our planning board, and these are issues that are of our time. And police, of course, our police has, you know, they have good topics. They have a really great web page on our website as well. Recreation and parks, you may want to know about programming or about opportunities for recreation in the city's program. Solid waste and recycling, I think we all are concerned about that. You know, might have need to know about the hours and maybe where they are and what can be recycled and what can't be and that sort of thing. The streets themselves, these streets, you know, we know that streets are they're living, ongoing operations, always changing what streets might be happening. Utilities, wastewater, water, the website itself, and then we have a catch-all other. So if it's not in there, it might be another. And so you might have a question. You might have a question that doesn't relate to any of those topics, and then you have other. And so that's the topics you can explore. And then Paula mentioned about if you have a question. It also has interesting is not only do you have a question, but do you have a compliment? So if you think something did good, I think that's a good thing to say, because we should compliment you as citizens as well. If you have a suggestion, so it's not a question, you just suggest we should do something. If you have a concern, so it's not a question, but rather a concern. Perhaps you're concerned about what can you do if the temperature in some of this hot weather that kind of sporadically pops up where you really need relief from heat, and where are there centers, cooling centers that a person that needed to go to a cooling center could go to, and there are. So So it's really kind of neat, and I think the form's not complicated to fill out. It looked pretty simple.
Yeah, it's very simple.
And it's really straightforward. You know, I was looking at the form myself, and I actually did a test this afternoon to make sure I could do it before I came on. I didn't want to be a hypocrite, and because I've been reading the responses and all, and but when I actually went on there, they'll have the type of requests which I mentioned earlier, which is the question, the compliment, the concern you have, you know, those suggestions you have. You can select a topic, and it has some pre-planned topics, but then there are always the other. So if then it's not one of the topics, you can put the other, and then you just state your request. Another neat thing is that you can upload a file. So if you perhaps have something you want to share that's in a document that you can on your computer, you can upload that document onto your form. And you have to give your contact information, which people think about sometimes, but this is a secure site, and it'd be your first name, your last name, or if you have a business, it'd be your business name. And you need to know, and you can give a preference to how you'd like to be contacted about what you've conveyed to us. Whether you want to use email, or you want a phone, or you'll be satisfied with either phone or email back from us. After you complete that form, it'll show you a confirmation page. And the confirmation page is just going to restate exactly what your question is. It'll address you. It'll say what your question is and what it is, how you've written it. And then the question you have will be directed to a city staff member who handles these type of matters. And then they'll ask you to review your information, your name, your business name if you have a business name, and your email address and your phone if you want to be contacted by phone, and the fact that you've filed an attachment will indicate yes or no you did or not, and it'll show a file name for your concern. So I think it's very simple and very clear and easy to work. Where do these things go, Paula, after they're sent off by a person submitting one of these requests or comments?
Well, it's like you mentioned, if you're selecting a topic in the Public Works Department, maybe you came across a huge pothole, and so you wanted to go in and submit a form with a concern about a pothole, and you even took a picture on your mobile device.
Yes.
You could submit that via the form. And
so you can upload the picture?
Yep. Yep, that's one of the files you can attach.
So
exactly.
Pictures are files. You know, I got to slap myself every once in a while because I forget how we are. You know, I think of a picture in the old way, but no, actually the JPEG or something like that could be uploaded.
Right, because the great thing about it is you can access this along with the website, obviously, through your mobile phone. And so you can take a picture with it. You can click it right in and send it off, and it's going to go to whoever the expert is in whatever division it is that you're talking about. If it's a street sign or a pothole, it'll go to Public Works, and whoever's charged at Public Works with dealing with those issues, it's going to go to them directly via their email. They don't have to open any special program. It's just going to end up right in their inbox.
And you know, so it's right on there. And the way our system works is when an email comes into our computer stations, it pops up. So it'll pop up and show you that we have an email, and so if someone sees it there, you can immediately address it right there when it pops up. Yeah. So it's a very nimble system in terms of the way that would be received.
Yeah.
And then the response, it says in a form that will either come back to you. You can make your choices whether you want an email, a phone, or you would take either an email or a phone.
Correct.
And then the person that receives it will make sure that it's handled and a response is made to you. And we have you mentioned a time frame?
72 hours.
Yes. And we're going to be measuring the number of hits we get on these on this approach, Ask Leb, because we want to strive to keep the volume of those hits going. We're not asking for, all this complaints and stuff, but what we're asking for is all this communication and stuff, because this is all communication.
Right.
So we want to have that volume rise. and we want to continue. We haven't really started a full-blown marketing campaign on this. We put it in a pilot, and we checked out the pilot. Now we've got it into its infancy. We got it up, and we're getting good contacts. We're getting good numbers. But we're going to have a marketing effort, and this program is one of those marketing efforts, encouraging you to use this system. It's for you, and by doing it, it helps you personally, but it also helps the city and other citizens that this is kind of a civic responsibility to make these things known, because you can make suggestions. I mean, there's a million good ideas out there. Some real creative and talented people in our community, and we welcome your ideas, and we're completely open-minded on those ideas, and that's the nature of our culture that we're working towards. We're imperfect. We're not, we are an imperfect city. I wish we were perfect. But we're going to move toward being better and better. So that's what we're doing, and we need your help to do this. And Ask Leb is a very important piece. The next area I wanted to touch on was Leb alerts. With the storm event, those of you who have participated by signing up for Leb alerts probably found you got a lot of good information. I mean, I noticed there's a lot, Paula. Have you noticed the Leb alerts and about how people are, utilizing those?
Yeah, and we have a large subscription base to both Leb alerts and to our e-news. That's a weekly publication that goes out about all the current events in the city. And the great thing that we're doing now is we've actually separated it so that when you subscribe to the Leb alert system, you enter your email. And anytime that a Leb alert is posted, either by the city manager's office, the public works department, the police department, or the fire department, an email blast goes out, and if you're on the list, it's going to hit you automatically. So there is no wait. If something is happening in the fire department, you'll know about it immediately. At the minute they post it, it doesn't any longer have to go through IT and go through a circulation of any kind. It just is it's gonna hit. So it really is automatic response.
And we're trying to be more in the moment in terms of what's happening that would be useful information to you. And I was looking at some of our more recent alerts, and we put a more recent alert here this week out on the fact that the U.S. Senator Shaheen was going to visit with city officials and residents, and that she was going to be here on Wednesday on the 7th. And that she was going to be at the impact of the storm event, which was at the intersection of Dulac and Slayton Hill Road. We also put out a web alert about the smoke testing. We're doing some smoke testing to improve our sewer service, and that might result in some smoke drifting out of some of our infrastructure, and then there'd be concern about why is smoke coming out of the infrastructure. And so that's a real useful. Those things are just useful. So you had an opportunity to go see your U.S. Senator. And the Senator went right down the street and stopped some people's driveways. People explained some things to him on the driveways. People gave her their input, and here we have a U.S. Senator right there on our site. Mayor Tuttle was with her, and so was Councilor Hill, and so were some of our local state representatives. So that was a good opportunity to as a citizen, to interject, and that alert would have given you the information to go there. The smoke testing is really interesting. We had when good news comes and when bad news comes, these alerts go out. The good news, we got the federal declaration which allows for public funding of the cities, the public costs. Unfortunately, that same FEMA area is not going to allow for costs for private individuals because we didn't have enough houses destroyed. That's really terrible. In fact, we're glad we didn't have enough houses destroyed. But in order to get that, we had there. And these are the kind of information that comes out. The flood responses were all there. The Slayton Hill repairs, the damaged roads. Now, how to sign up for a Leb alert is real simple again. I mean, we're keeping these really simple. And on the same web page I just mentioned, the current alerts, there is a sign: subscribe to have your Leb alerts delivered to you directly into your inbox as they happen. And all you have to do is put your name, first name, last name, and your email address. And you tap subscribe, and there it goes. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a real wonderful thing. And I know all of us are trying to get into this new age. Those of my generation, there's no problem for the younger generation to get in. They're fully engaged in this. So it bodes well that we're exploring these things.
Definitely.
Is there anything else you think we should make mention on the Leb Alerts?
Just the one thing I think we should make mention of is that if you're a current subscriber to the Leb Alert system and you find it a benefit the way that you receive your information from the city, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell them how easy it is. Just let them know. Go on the website, subscribe to the alerts, and you'll be part of the system. And that way we will have way more communication efforts going forward, and the more people that are involved, the better off we're going to be doing.
Yeah, so I think it's still all about engaging. The only other thing that I mentioned is for those Twitter followers, you can also receive your Leb alerts by Twitter. And so those just go to @LebAlert, and by doing that, you will then on your Twitter you will be able to receive your web alerts on Twitter. Because some people follow their Twitter just on a regular basis. Our last segment, our last 3 minutes, is very important to us. Is the Citizen Academy. Could you tell the public a little bit about the Citizen Academy that we have coming up?
Yeah, I'm going to do my best. The Lebanon Citizens Academy is starting up in September. It's our first attempt at bringing citizens into the engagement process and teaching them about their government. And we've got 3 sessions coming up in the fall, and participants are going to learn how the government functions, how we make our decisions, how Lebanon will continue towards becoming a sustainable community. We're going to talk about a variety of things. We're asking that in order for you to join, you be a resident of Lebanon, 18 years of age or older, and they're able to commit to 3 2-hour courses for the fall term. We're going to be doing City Management 101, Public Safety and You, and Where Exactly Do You Live? Defining Lebanon's neighborhoods. Term dates are September 19th, September 26th, and October 3rd, and all are going to take place in the community room at the Kilton Library. So yeah, we would like everybody to come and join. If you'd like to register, all the information is on the website. There's a page devoted specifically to the Citizens Academy, ca.lebnh.net, and we're asking that you file your application on or before August 23rd.
So August 23rd. So you have time here to consider joining us. I will be at every session. I will be the principal presenter at the first session, and then I will join you in listening to the presenters in the second session on the police and fire, and then in the third session on excellent planning, I'll join you. I look forward to this. Paula and I have been thinking about this for quite a while now, and we're very excited about it. We want to give you a learning experience that would be equivalent to coursework in a college course. So it's not, we're not going to try to make it so complex that it'll just be boring. I think you'll find it very interesting. But we wanted to make it the quality level that you would expect if you came and you took a college course. And that's what we're striving for, so that level of excellence. So we'll have good materials for you, and materials that are easily read, and that will add value for you, that you will take away from that in terms of adult learning. I'm an adult learner, and I'm continuously trying to learn more. And so we're going to try to provide you with actual information and knowledge that you can then, as now more citizen-wise, knowledgeable individuals, can take with you and follow it wherever it leads you. If it leads you to talk to your fellow citizens, your neighbors about how some of the city things operate, that is wonderful. If you decided to come to a meeting down in the future with City Council and or Planning Board or Conservation Commission Board, any kind of that petition is wonderful. And someday you might want to join in some of the associations that we have where people come together, whether it's a ped bike committee or whether it's a planning board or a zoning board. These are things that are wonderful, and someday you might want to be my boss and run for city council. So these are kind of things that we expect, and we want all aspects of our community to participate, from those who are in college and just came out of high school, to those who are senior citizens, to business people, to people that are, that take care of their families. We're going to make it user friendly. We're not taking terribly much of your time, but we'll make sure that that time you spent is well worthwhile to you. This has been committed to by our city council. They're in full support of us. And this is a great opportunity for us to get more knowledge exchange between us. And there'll be some give and take at all these sessions among us. So I think that we just want to say welcome to the Citizen Academy. And
Absolutely.
we're just looking forward to being there. Paula and I are just delighted about the whole affair. And Paula, in her role as our Deputy City Manager, is putting it all together for us. And I want to thank Paula for accepting being the Deputy City Manager.
Thank you.
I am wishing you all well. We're excited about the work that's ahead of us. We both have had some recreation and enjoyment with our families, and now we're going to plunge into this thing and make it work for you, and you can help us make it work by letting us know how we do. Thank you.